What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got some major news for you guys here. Let's jump right in. Okay, first up, absolutely monster major news here. Former President Donald Trump booked at the Fulton County Jail after charges stemming from the 2020 election probe. The court set former President Donald Trump's bail at $200,000. He was quickly released thereafter. Yeah, Trump was arrested in Georgia at this Fulton County jail. He was released shortly after he arrived. His former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and others also had already turned themselves in, including the other, what they're calling, quote, co-conspirators there, including the mugshots of them, those that have already been released. You can see some of the notable ones here. Former President Donald Trump's bond was $200,000. Rudy Giuliani's was $150,000, his mugshot there. And Mark Meadows, former chief of staff, was $100,000. They're saying that he might be the one that is going to, what I've seen some quotes, sing like a canary, potentially against former President Donald Trump and testify against him. We will see what happens here. Also, a very publicized former attorney for Trump, Sidney Powell here. Her mugshot here as well. Pretty very popular lawyer there. So, yeah, those are the mugshots there. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments on that. We will be seeing a lot more of that coming forward here. Also, the Republican debate happened and came out with a pretty strong viewership. You can see Fox News GOP Republican candidate debate averaged 12.8 million viewers without former President Donald Trump, indicating strong interest in the rest of the Republican field. Now, the issue here is that right now, former President Donald Trump has a strong grip on the Republican field. He didn't even want to show up to the debate. Now, I don't know how much of that had to deal with him having to turn himself in. But if he does get convicted of a felony, remember there was, I think, 13 felonies associated with this latest indictment. Polls show from Republican voters alone, somewhere around like 50% of Republican voters would not be willing to vote for him or something along those lines. And again, we'll see how this shapes out as things get closer. Will another Republican candidate become more popular if Trump does get actually found guilty, or will that not even happen? Will the trials just get delayed? Will he be able to successfully push off the trials and just delay them, which would be a great strategy for him? Will something like that happen? We will see. Only time will tell. We're in unprecedented territory to even have something like this happen. Let me know your thoughts on this. Of course, there's all sorts of different people's thoughts on this, whether they're left, right, or center. We're just in unprecedented territory. The Maui government files a lawsuit accusing the Hawaiian Electric Company of causing the Lahaina fires, which is the worst fire tragedy in at least 100 years or maybe ever. This is some big news here. You guys can let me know your thoughts here on this as well. Quote, "We essentially had a fire hurricane," the governor of Hawaii said on the inferno that has left hundreds still missing, maybe even over 1,000. "We essentially had a fire hurricane, and Maui County fired a lawsuit filed a lawsuit against the Hawaiian Electric Company and its subsidies, alleging that the utility company's negligence caused the devastating wildfires that burned thousands of acres of land in the state and killed more than 100 people earlier this month. The lawsuit alleged that the electric company known as HECO inexcusably kept their power lines energized in early August, despite the fact that the National Weather Service issued a high wind watch and a fire warning. The warnings cautioned that the strong winds could knock down power lines and ignite a fire that could spread quickly due to dry conditions, the lawsuits indicated. The fire was a direct and legal result of the negligence, carelessness, and recklessness and/or unlawfulness of HECO. Maui County is seeking damages from HECO that may total tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, according to the lawsuit. A representative from HECO did not immediately respond. This is the first time an entity of the Hawaiian government has formally accused the utility company of playing a role in the deadliest U.S. fire in more than a century. HECO is also the subject of a proposed class action lawsuit filed earlier this month that accused the electric company of choosing not to de-energize the power lines after they knew some poles and lines had fallen and were in contact with vegetation or the ground. Quote, our immediate focus is on supporting emergency response efforts on Maui and restoring power for our customers and communities as quickly as possible. At this early stage, the cause of the fire has not been determined, and we will work with the state and county as they conduct their review, said Hawaiian Electric Vice President. He added that Hawaiian Electric does not have a formal shutoff program in place. Imagine that. And precautionary shutoffs have to be arranged with first responders. Electricity powers the pumps that provide the water needed for firefighting as well. Hawaiian Electric Company is a for-profit company that serves 95% of Hawaii's customer base and trades on the New York Stock Exchange. This isn't the first time a utility company has been blamed for its alleged role in powerful wildfire in recent years. In California, PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, has reached a settlement valued at $25.5 billion, including a $1 billion in settlements with cities and counties and $11 billion in settlements with insurance companies after the company pleaded guilty for its role in a deadly 2018 Camp Fire. That's a lot of money. If all this is cumulative, that's 25, 26, 36, $37.5 billion. That's a lot of money. So this gives you an idea on how much money these electric companies make. An estimate from Moody's estimates that this could already be up to $6 billion in economic losses alone, not to mention the countless lives and people that are missing. Honestly, I think that could be a tiny fraction of what it could end up being. Also, President Biden announced that people in Lahaina would get a whopping $700 from the federal government, which is in my opinion, an absolute slap in the face. I think I seen an estimate that would come to something like $20 million or something. That's just an absolute joke. I mean, $700 is like, especially over there in Hawaii, that's like a couple weeks of groceries. You know, that's not going to help. That's not going to go very far. I mean, sure, it's a little bit of something, but that's not going to help these people rebuild their lives or do very much. I mean, you know, we think about that and we think about the disaster in East Palestine, Ohio, and the federal government has trillions of dollars that they print And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of causes that the government has to, take into consideration. When we're talking about the worst fire in potential US history, or at least in 100 years, this is something they have to step up for. I mean, we have to take care of our own. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I mean, do better. Do better. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on this. I'll keep you up to date here with everything happening here on a daily basis. So thank you for liking and sharing these videos. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click here to see the potential presidential cover-up of chefs dropping dead. Or you can click here to see the Fed's already announcement of things to come for all 50 states. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.